The December 4th update is hurtling closer and closer to Pokemon Unite, and we have more information about changes that are coming to the game. Some of them are pretty shocking. Hi everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy. Let's get into it. By the way, I mentioned in a video yesterday that I made about EOS coins going away, that I would make an update or take that video down if I thought any of the information in it was bad. I do not think anything in my video has changed. However, there is an update to something you can do with coins. I will get into that here in just a moment. Let's just go ahead and start with the update, and I'll talk about all the aspects of it because there's some really interesting stuff going on here. Additional information on the December 4 update. This is going to be one of the biggest updates in the game's history at this point. We have major changes to the ranked system. We already talked about a lot of this, but ranked progression will change to a gauge. From beginner to ultra, ranks are subdivided into classes, which they've already kind of had, right? Each rank will be shown as a rank point. You can kind of see that right here is what they're talking about. So they have the rank you get from the victory, and then you have the little rank you get here from the bonuses. So we've got extra rank because you're the #1 damage dealer, extra rank because you're the #1 KOer. This talks about the fact that there are other ways to get bonuses. So there's most KOs, most damage taken, like a defender, supporter might get that. Interrupted the most goals, so people trying to score, you stop them. Land the most critical hits, which has a lot of people scratching their heads. Pick up the most berries, which is just one of the most bizarre, I don't even know what to say about it. Pick up the most berries, like, okay, I guess. I guess that's a way to get points. I don't know, man. But interestingly enough, the rank from ultra, like from beginner to ultra, seems to relatively be the same except with these bonuses. Then once you get to master rank, you have your master rank rating instead of a gauge. So it looks like it's going to go back to a very similar situation in master rank, which will be, I mean, pretty normal compared to everything that we're used to. So this is just going to be like a very similar system to what we're used to. However, once you get to legend, things do change a little bit. So once you reach a certain master rank rating, and we don't know what that is yet, I'm guessing it will be the equivalent of either 1400 or 1600, possibly higher in master rank, but it'll be somewhere in that equivalent. Players reaching legend will be able to drop back down. So unlike master rank right now, where once you get there, you stay there. Now, once you get to legend, you will drop in and out of legend, and legend players will be given matchmaking priority against each other. So only the top players will reach this rank and maintain it. So a few things to note about that. Depending on where you are playing this game, I don't know if the player base is going to fully support legends always being matched against legends. I think this will mostly be a thing that benefits players in Japan, 5 stacks, and trios and higher and stuff like that. Trios and higher being trios and 5 stacks, maybe duos as well. But I think it will be less likely that a solo queue player will be matched into an all legend game. That will be far less frequent as the seasons like continue to progress. However, it may be that, again, if you kind of get there at about 1400, they'll match a lot of people there and people will kind of consistently bounce out of that ranking. But it looks like this master goes up from 0 to 1,000, then 1,000 all the way up to 99999 for legends. So once you get past this 1,000 point threshold, who knows where you start here in master, you'll head into legend, and then any fluctuation there will knock you up or down. There also, once you get to legend, you only get like matched based on like win or loss, or excuse me, you only get points based on win or loss. It says that in here. And I missed it. Just 1 second, guys. If the rank point becomes 0, your rank decreases. If you advance past the highest rank, your rank will increase. Master rank will stay the same. To participate in ranked, blobbity blobbity blue. I had it earlier. Maybe it was in the Japanese notes, but there was something talking about how like you only get moved up or down based on win or loss. Oh, it might be in the rank protection cards here. So changes to rank protection cards. To accompany the changes above, rank protection cards will be replaced by rank point protection cards, which will allow players to avoid using rank points when participating in a ranked match. So there's this interesting thing that happens is like you are almost like paying ranked points to jump into a match. And then once you pay, like it's interesting. So The new rank points should allow players' efforts in battle to add up, and performance in battle will be rewarded with extra rank points. We believe this gives players a greater sense of accomplishment. The legend rank added, it's a perfect stage for top players to compete at. And where is it here? Is it only in the Japanese notes? Hold on, let me read the Japanese notes here. Because I was reading this earlier, and maybe I'm like fully missing it, and you guys are screaming at me right now. Okay. Yes, okay, when you participate in a battle, you first pay a fee called participation points. After each battle, the points you earn through the battle will be added to a gauge. Participation points and points earned through the battle will vary depending on your rank. So it's almost like you're like going into rank and you are like, oh, it's like you have 10 points that it costs to, you know, play a battle here, and if you win you get 20 plus bonuses, and if you lose you still get your bonuses but you don't get the victory points, right? So that'll be an interesting thing that as you continue to move forward through ranked. And then the legend ranked here, oh here, the above bonus points, it is in the Japanese notes, I knew it. In the legend rank, the above mentioned bonus points are not added, and master rank points fluctuate solely based on win-losses. However, that does mean that it seems like in master rank, some of these bonus points could exist, but I'm not exactly sure how that's going to be. So that's just something from the Japanese patch notes right there that I didn't see in the English patch notes. And if it's right there and I'm missing it, I'm very sorry about that. But I remember reading that earlier. So that is going to create a really interesting scenario where you can get up to legend, but if you're not good at the game, you'll quickly bounce out of legend because it's purely based on win-loss. Heading over to special hollowware. License journey starts December 4th. We've talked a lot about that. Coins are going away. Battle pass rewards are changing. So you no longer get EOS coins, but you do get these license points. So it looks like the intent of the battle pass is to give a really nice piece of hollowware and help you unlock Pokemon. So for newer or players that don't have all of the Pokemon, this will be great. For players that do have everything, this seems to be worse because the pass no longer includes the green tag hollowware, fashion items, or EOS coins. In this most recent one, I'll get more into that in 1 second. In this most recent one, also to celebrate the release of Licensed Journeys, the orange tag Miracle Style Glaceon is coming to the Battle Pass as a reward. It's a premium hollowware with special visual effects for all of its moves. Don't miss it. I have a few things I really want to say about this. First off, let me just take you into the game really quick. In-game, so what they're saying is going away. In a Battle Pass, of course, is stuff like this. The fashion items for this like Dark Lord set on Darkrai are going away, as well as all the way back at the beginning here, before you unlock the Darkrai, something like Mew. Mew is going away, this costume style Mew. Now, I don't know if this is an awful change or not, but I do think for me personally, the thing that I'm disappointed seeing go is the fashion. I actually really like the fashion. And you kind of match the battle pass of the Pokemon. It's very possible we still get frames and stuff like that. It hasn't said anything about that. But the fashion does look like it's going, which I think is disappointing because I really do like getting the full like Dark Lord set and like standing next to the Darkrai. I think that's just pretty cool. However, the top tier hollowware appears to stay. Now, I do have to say, as we look back at this, it says that to celebrate the release of the Licensed Journey, the orange tag Miracle Style is coming as a Battle Pass reward, a premium hollowware. It doesn't say here that that is the case all the time. We can take a look at that hollowware real quick. Sorry if that's too loud, trying to lower it here. It does say that this is coming for this one, which looks pretty sick, obviously, but I don't know that we're going to continue to get orange tag hollowware. If we do, me personally, I would like the idea of getting better hollowware in the battle pass, but I do think it's a bummer that we wouldn't get the fashion item. I never really cared about the green tag hollowware. I always thought that was kind of lame personally, but I do think if it was all orange tag hollowware, that would actually be pretty cool. This is the Glaceon here, which looks, you know, pretty stunning, right? I, again, don't know what exactly they're going to do, but I would hope that we get we continue to get orange tag hollowware. I don't know if that's going to be the case. The way this reads to me is like this is a special one-off, and then we're going to kind of go back to the battle pass hollowware that we normally have. Now, moving on from that, I also, by the way, we don't know the price. If the price stays the same and it's orange tag all the time, excuse me, I think that would be okay. If the price stays the same and it's just the regular hollowware that we've been normally getting, I think that would be a real big disappointment. Moving on to held items. This is going to be a really interesting change, but not as impactful as you may think. So the held item level cap is going up. It's going from 30 to 40, and the stat increases from 30 to 40 are going to be about half of the rate compared to 20 to 30. So this is going to be the smallest possible change that you see in the entirety of having held items. Still, level 20 is going to be the important part of having a held item in this game. And 20 to 30 is going to be some stat bonuses. 30 to 40 will be very minimal bonuses. It's not that it will be nothing, but it will just be very, very small. I think this is mainly used for coins, which I'll talk about here in a moment. You can obtain item enhancers from events, exchanging AOS tickets. Additionally, until the end of May, you can exchange AOS coins for them at the AOS coin exchange. So I think a huge reason they are doing this change is, first off, just to give longtime players something to grind for, even if it's not very consequential. And I think it's mainly for players like me who, if you look at my game, whatever I have 700,000 coins. I think it's mainly for players like this to do something with all those coins where it doesn't feel like you're just getting absolutely ripped off for all of the coins you've generated in the game, because the bonuses that you get from this are very small. Now, these are all super early preliminary numbers. This should be close to what it is, but let's talk about some of the changes to the items. I got this from Evocron. Shout out to them. This is what it's going to look like for some of these items. So a mono HP item like Resonant Guard is going to go up to 525 HP from what it currently is at. And I'll pull up the game here real quick just so we can look at it as well. Resonant Guard currently is at, what is it? 450, right? Yeah, it's at 450 with 18 HP recovery. So this is what it looks like in game. That's Resonant Guard, 450 HP. So the new change would bring it to 525. An extremely minor change for an item like that. The level 30 to 40 will not be significant in most of these items to change anything in a battle. However, there will be some interesting stuff, like defense items like Focus Band will go up to 35 from 30. Not a big deal. Wise Glasses, 44. Scope Lens will be one of the more interesting ones, in my opinion. And that may be one of the ones you invest in if you care about critical hits. Your critical hit rate goes up to 7% from 6, and the modifier up to 14% from 12. This is, again, not a massive change, but an additional percent of critical hit is nice. Assault Vest goes up to 68 or 69 defenses with 315 HP. Cooldown reduction items like Shell Bell goes to 5.25% from 4.5, which isn't that significant, but it does make it, you will have like a couple interesting moments with some of the changes. The big change, or big possible change, and we're gonna have to see that, of course, are going to be attack speed items. We've got stat items like Floatstone Curse go up to 28 from 24, again, very minor. Move speed goes from 150 to 175 on certain items, which could have like a couple little differences. Razor Claw gets a 2.35% crit rate. Energy Amp, 7% rate, which isn't too bad. But I do think like a big question is going to be whether or not the attack speed items make much of a difference at all. I think I had them around here somewhere, but the attack speed items are going to be one of the more interesting changes. The question is it going to be relevant that an item like Muscle Band goes from 7.5 to whatever the next bonus will be, like it goes up to 9% or something like that? It could have like a few interesting breakpoints, but it also might not be super relevant. So I know a lot of people are kind of like focusing most intensely on this change right here. I think this change will be very minor, and to me it honestly just feels like kind of a collector, like longtime player collector change. I personally would not recommend saving any coins for the purpose of upgrading held items. It will be almost completely irrelevant. If you know, like, the difference between like 4 attack on something like a floatstone is so unbelievably small, it's completely irrelevant. Not that it won't be even slightly helpful, but it's just like completely irrelevant. So a lot of the big changes that you're seeing are going to be to early rank progression and then progression through ultra rank, which I'm interested to see. I really wish that we were all resetting back to beginner so that we could go through this, but that might just be like we just don't have the player base for it, and people are going to start to get too separated again, and you're going to run into too many bot matches. I think that would be really cool. I am very interested to see the performance-based rank points. I honestly think some of these things, like landing critical hits, picking up the most berries, and some of the other weird ones that you're going to get, are not going to be super relevant when it comes to like something you're going to really try to farm. Like, bad players are going to do bad player things regardless of what what all this says. And I do think, just like it is now, there will be no change. Like, a ton of really bad players are going to hang out in master rank. Like, a ton of bad players are going to hang out in master rank, and hopefully good solo players, but definitely like duos, trios, and 5 stacks are going to hang out more and more in Legend. It might be quite difficult to get like Legend matched games if you're only running solo again, but I think a lot of players are still going to hang out here in Master with doing absolute nonsense, and I don't think this is going to change it in any meaningful way. It's probably going to make some players like feel a little bit better about their climb, and there's going to be some fun stuff associated with it, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference to the master rank system that we have right now. I feel like that's going to be very, very similar. We also don't know exactly what's happening with draft. I have to assume that draft is really only happening here. I could be wrong, and it could happen somewhere in master rank, but I'm guessing that especially with the way they changed draft to like moving it up to 1400, to me it reads like 1400 is the new legend, or even 1600 master rank that we currently have now is the new legend. And once you get there and you have everyone in legend, you will be seeing draft games. So I'm guessing it's going to actually look different, but functionally be very, very similar to how things are right now. I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are you excited for? What are you not excited for? Again, me personally, I think losing fashion really sucks from the battle pass. That part I think is awful. If we do continue to get orange tag hollowware with cool move effects, that part I think is really cool. The held item thing is going to sound like a lot, but in general, I don't think it's going to be very significant at all. I really do think it's just a way for people who have 1 billion coins to feel like they're getting something when all of their coins are going away. I think that's just about everything that I thought was interesting in this. Let me just bounce over to the Japanese notes here real quick, in case there was something I remember. Oh yeah, this is like, if you're in Legend, by the way, you move down to Master Rank now, so you don't even move down to Ultra. That'll be like a new thing moving forward, which I think is actually fair. If you're one of the highest ranked players in the game, you don't need to be climbing back through, they call it, the translation is Expert, but you don't need to be climbing back through Ultra or anything like that. The Master Rank 750 to 999 goes to Ultra 1, 500 to 740, Ultra 2, and on and on and on. As you can see, this has an option. I don't know if it's where you start, but you could be starting at Master Rank 0 once you hit there. So there could be a lot of matches that you're grinding before you hit Legend rank. And I do think that's about all of the stuff that I wanted to talk about in this here. I mean, we keep getting new stuff every day. Again, I do think the December update, this December 4th update, is shaping up to be like this, and moving into the Kyogre update, which I think is later in December. This seems to be one of the largest updates in the history of Unite, and I'm really interested to see what they do with it. Thank you all. I love you guys. I'll see y'all next time. We did it.